Hey there, King Nintendo. I was thinking, don't you think because, your name is King Nintendo now, don't you think you should make more Nintendo content? Is there any Persona games on Nintendo consoles? Um, yeah. Close enough.
What's up YouTube? King Nintendo here, and today we will be ranking the Persona games. I have made myself a little tier list here. And yeah, let's get started with Persona 1. Okay, I haven't finished it, so I don't think I should be ranking it really right now, but from what I've played, I just think it's okay. There are some pretty interesting aspects of this game, like, it's a lot more different than the, what do you call it? Later Persona games. It's more like it's a first-person dungeon crawler. When it's, dungeon crawling, and it's a little weird. The battling is okay, in my opinion. Battling's not as revolutionary as the later Persona games, but it's okay, I guess. And yeah, I think it deserves to be in there. Next, let's talk about these two games. Yeah. Eternal Punishment on the PS1 and Innocent Sin on the PSP. These are the ones that I've been playing through. I only played a little bit of this one, but I'm still going to put it because they're both Persona 2. And I've been playing through Innocent Sin though, and I think Innocent Sin is great so far. The characters are really interesting, and the dungeons are cool, how it's like they're in the real world. The random encounters do get a little on my nerves, but the battling is fun enough for me to, brush it off to the side, because the battling has these things called fusion spells where you can mix things together to create one big powerful move, and it's really fun. Again, it's not as revolutionary as the battling in later games, but I still think it's great. And the premise is really interesting with the character name titled the Joker, and then rumors are becoming reality, and you can use that to your advantage, which is, it's cool. And yeah, next I wanted to talk about Persona 4 games. Persona 4 and Persona 4, the Golden. I totally skipped over Persona 3, I know, but there's a reason I did that, because Persona 4 does a lot of things right that I think that if I talk about, I can then talk about Persona 3 and Persona 5 better. The reason why Persona 4 is in the really, really good tier for me is because Persona 4, it has an okay story. That's comparing it to the other Persona games. If you're just playing it by itself, it's a pretty good story. But the characters in this game, I think, are amazing. There's not one character that I dislike or would like to change or anything. I think they're all great, and they all play off of each other really well. The dungeons in this game are okay. I don't think they're anything revolutionary. I think Tartarus and the palaces in Persona 5 do a better job. But I love how the characters have to fight their true selves, and they have to overcome their true selves to get their personas. That's very interesting. And if you didn't know, the premise of this game is that people are being thrown in to the TV world, and you have to go inside the TV to save them and solve a murder mystery case. A lot of people would call it Japanese Scooby-Doo. I'd say it's a little more dark than Scooby-Doo, but yeah. Even the characters that people dislike, like Teddy, I think are great, and I love all the themes that the game has. The confidants are pretty good. They're not the best in the series, but they're pretty good. I love the town setting of Inaba, and yeah, crazy. It's also weird to think that this game is over a decade old. I mean, I don't remember it coming out, but like, it's still weird. Anyways, next is Persona 5. I almost want to put this in good tier, but I think I can put it in really good. So, Persona 5, the things that, first of all, I want to stress, I want to get this out of the way first. I think Persona 5 is a really good game. I just don't think it's as good as Persona 4 because of some specific reasons. First of all, Persona 5, I'm going to talk about the characters first. The party members, I really liked Ann and Ryuji and Morgana, like the first 3 characters, and I love everything about the first palace, and the second palace is really good as well. But once you start getting into the third palace, the game starts focusing less on the characters it's already established and the characters that are now in these palaces, which obviously, yeah, they're going to focus more on the newer characters that are being introduced rather than the ones that they've already introduced. But they kind of just throw them out of the way. Like, they don't get hardly any development after their introduction. And when they do, it's pretty odd. Like, Ryuji gets in a fight with Morgana for absolutely no reason other than drama and to introduce Haru, which kind of felt a little rushed and weird in my opinion. That's like the biggest offender of it though. Other than that, I think the confidants are pretty okay. I like certain characters' confidants, I think, are great. I just feel like they don't have to introduce all these random characters in the confidants for me to go into mementos and, like, you know, change the heart of. But like, the characters in like the characters in these confidants, I just not really interested in, other than the ones that are already established, like the one in Haru's confidant, because he was already like a character who was part of the story and stuff. But like, I want to hang out with these characters so I can learn more about the characters, not about these other characters. And I don't know, it's just weird in my opinion. And also, speaking of mementos, I don't really like mementos as much. It seems like it was really trying hard to be sort of like a Tartarus thing. But I think Tartarus is good because I actually want to know what's at the top of Tartarus. It's never really a big thing at what's at the bottom of Mementos, so I never really care about what's at the bottom of Mementos. So I never really played through Mementos a lot till the end of the game where you had to, and I was playing it for like 2 hours straight, just going down all of these floors, or it was like an hour and a half. But I don't know, Mementos I just don't think is handled well, you know. But one thing I do think Persona 5 does right is it has a great art style. It's got really good graphics. There's certain characters I love, and then certain ones I just think are meh. Like, what's an example? I said how I like the first palace a lot because the characters feel really... It feels like everything you're learning about this Kamoshida guy, and you kind of see it from every point of view. You see it from Ryuji's point of view as like this guy on the track team and how he treats all of these people, all of his team members, or you see it from Ann, like how he treats women, and you kind of just learn to hate the guy. And yeah, they still do that later on, but not as well as I think they did in the first palace. Overall, the story I think is pretty good. Yeah, It's a really good looking game as well. And one thing I do think Persona 5 does a really good job of is the protagonist. I don't think I've ever seen a cooler guy ever. He's literally like my favorite, let alone like my favorite video game character of all time. I think he's probably one of my favorite characters of all time. And yeah, I really hope Persona 5 The Royal, once it comes out in North America, fixes the problems I had with Persona 5. I also think the story's a little weird. I like Akechi though, he's cool. I think people pick on him too much as a character. Anyways, enough of talking about Persona 5. Let us talk about Persona 3. I am putting it in the really good tier as well, except I'm putting it above Persona 5. In my opinion, Persona 3, it's like, it doesn't do many bad things, it just does a lot of things right, and then a lot of things okay. The first half of the story is pretty boring, but once, I won't spoil too much, but something happens, then the story really kicks into play, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And I guess I never really talked about the soundtrack for the Persona games, but Persona 3's is like, people always say the Persona 3 soundtrack will grow on you, and I think it's, I don't know, I mean, Persona 4 and 5 I just think are so much better. There are some really good songs in the Persona 3 soundtrack, like Burn My Dread, the opening to the game is like one of my favorite songs of all time. And yeah, Persona 3's got really good confidants, and the battling is just as good as 4 and 5. 5, well, not as good as 5's. 5's is amazing. You obviously can't control your other party members, but I honestly don't find it too much of a problem, because there's still a lot you can make them do. And Tartarus, the dungeon you explore, is really interesting. I like it a lot because I always wanted to find out what was at the top, and the payoff at the end was really good, really tied in with the story well. The characters are great. There's a couple characters I really don't like though, and yeah, like Yukari and Junpei, I just think are not that good characters. Yukari's just kind of annoying a lot of the time, and Junpei is also annoying. Junpei is just like, he just gets so jealous of everything. Like later on in the story, he obviously gets better, and I like him later on in the story. He's so like annoying in the beginning. Hikari too. She's very interesting. But there's a lot of good characters, like Akihiko I think is amazing. And I also really like Aigis a lot, and Fuka's good. I feel like people pick on Ken too much as well. I don't think he's too bad, obviously. There is a couple things he does that I think are dumb. But overall, I don't think that Persona 3 is too bad of a game. I think it's a pretty good game, actually. And might as well throw FES up there as well. I like the original a little bit better than FES, just for the aesthetic it goes for. So we'll put that right there. What to talk about next? Let's talk about the dancing games. Persona 4 dancing, I think, is good. I like the story. It's like, it's a really pointless story, and I hope it's really not canonical. I don't think it is, but I hope it's not. But yeah, Persona 4 dancing's good. I like how many different songs it comes with. The new character is obviously like fine. She's not a bad addition, Konami, but Persona 3 dancing I'm gonna put in okay tier. Those Persona 5. I just think these games are overpriced for what they give you. but I definitely liked the social events more than the story mode, because story mode was kind of just like the story that I don't really care about these characters I don't care about. But the social events, I can just spend time with characters who I want to. The gameplay's much better than the Persona 4 dancing, in my opinion. But it just lack of content and the pricing, I just don't think is fair. I don't think Atlus is being fair. And yeah, Persona Q I also think is pretty good. I don't really want to talk about it much because Persona Q2 I think is really good. But I wish there's a tier in between good and really good, because I don't know where to put Persona Q2. I haven't finished playing Persona Q2, but it is awesome so far. When I noticed that they were going to have 3 games in the Persona Q2 game, I was 3 different games, Persona 3, 5, and 4. I thought it was weird because I really thought they should at least just do 2 or just make it about the Phantom Thieves. But I really love the way they handled the 3 different games. And yeah. The gameplay is awesome. I love drawing my own map and exploring the dungeons. Same with Persona Q1. This Persona, when I'm talking about Persona Q2, I'm also, for the gameplay stuff, I'm also probably talking about Persona Q1. And the characters, I don't like the characters in Persona Q1 that much because they only have like one personality trait and then one thing they like about them. Like one thing that they like is also talked about, like Akihiko mentions like twice in Persona 3 that he likes protein, but in Persona Q he's like obsessed with protein. And like Chie, obviously she loves meat and stuff, but she also is like talks about training a lot. You know, just stuff like that. But I like they tone it down a little bit in Persona Q2, and yeah, it's great. I love the whole premise of Q2 as well, how they have to go into the movies, to fix these movies, and you know, battle. It's cool. I like the dungeon crawling a lot. Yeah, that was quick. I mean, I honestly thought it was gonna go on for a lot longer, but so I just want to quickly talk about the soundtracks. Persona 4's got a really good soundtrack. Persona 5's got a really good soundtrack. Persona 3's got a pretty good soundtrack. Persona Q2 has got a really good soundtrack. Obviously, the dancing game's got a good soundtrack. Persona 1 is like meh. Persona 2 is like meh. Persona Q1 is good. As for these games I didn't rank, I have not played them. And as for Persona 5 Scramble and Persona 5 The Royal, those 2 games haven't come out yet. But I am really excited for Persona 5 Royal, because I think it's going to fix a lot of the things about Persona 5 that I didn't like. And I'm excited for Persona 5 Scramble, because have you heard the opening? It's so good. And I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to make the outro of this video the Persona 5 Scramble opening, because that opening is amazing. Anyways guys, that was my tier list, and peace out.